Hello, my name is Holger Neuert. I'm Product Manager in SAP Cloud Platform, and I would like to show you today the commercial model Cloud Platform Enterprise Agreement, CPEA. The Cloud Platform Enterprise Agreement is one of the three commercial models we offer on the SAP Cloud Platform. The first one is subscription, where you have a defined bill of material and contract and maybe also some use cases with one contract you would like to build and provide to your internal and external customers. On the other hand, we have the Cloud Platform Enterprise Agreement, where you have only one SKU, stock keeping unit or material number. So there is no need to a defined bill of material. So you can use all existing and future services available on the cloud platform. The thing what you have to do is a pre-commitment where you buy some cloud credits. And the third one, it's still on a pilot phase, is called pay as you go. It is like the CPEA, but without a pre-commitment. That means that you don't have to buy cloud credits beforehand. So we will focus today on the Cloud Platform Enterprise Agreement, but I would like to show you also the differentiation between the subscription one. So as I mentioned before, you have one stock keeping unit, no need to define the bill of material, so you can choose each and every service and also future services which are available via the Cloud Platform Enterprise Agreement. And you have the flexibility to turn off and switch off between services. On the other hand, you have subscription, where I said you have a la carte, so you have a defined bill of material, and that means also contract, or you have special use cases where you would like to buy some services to do some collaboration, some user experience, integration scenarios, and so on. In this presentation, I would like to go through all the different topics. So you have a decoupled procurement from use. That's also a big difference to the subscription part, where if you want to have another service, you have to buy them again. You have to go to the sales representative and buy this service. So we decoupled in the Cloud Platform Enterprise Agreement the commercial agreement and the technical adoption. You have a usage transparency, that you mean that you have a dashboard where you get full control of your usage. The third thing is that you have a flexible adoption. What does that mean? You can flexibly select all services and also in different data center locations. The fourth point is scale up cycle. That means that you can start small and grow as you go. And the last point, one self-service access, means that you have all services available in the Cloud Cockpit, which I would like to show you later on. So in subscription, you buy the service, and if you use it, you can use it, but if you don't use it, you pay it anyhow. So there is a risk of underutilization and difficult adoption of new services, as I mentioned before. And on the other hand, you have the pure pay as you go, or the consumption-based model, where you pay only for the usage of the services you are really enabled and used. I mentioned also on the first slide the cloud credits. So you buy cloud credits. That means the cloud credits are pre-paid commitment. That means that you pay in advance and get cloud credits back. So unused cloud credits expire at the end of the contract phase. Secondly, the cloud credits are subject to discount. So if you maybe buy for 120,000 cloud credits and you get 20% discount, you pay then only 100,000, but you can then use the 120,000 cloud credits. But if you go at the end of the year, you don't have any cloud credits anymore. It's also possible to buy top-up clouds, so that means that you can buy them at any point in time. From a usage perspective, cloud credits entitle you that you can use all consumption-based services in the portfolio. Where you can find them, I will show you in a few seconds, as well as future services. So services which are not yet introduced. This service usage is then debited from your cloud credits. So each and every month you are using some services, and this usage will then debited from your cloud credits. And an excessive usage, so the overage, is also invoiced. So that means that we don't stop that you can use the services anymore if you are in overage. That means only that you then pay the overage, but with the gross amount. So from this point in time, you don't get your discounts. So you pay the gross amount. We have one central catalog, so you will find here 70 plus services, including a cost estimator, which I will show you as well. I mentioned already the 3 business models: subscription, consumption-based model, the Cloud Platform Enterprise Agreement, and pure pay-as-you-go. We are in more than 59 countries available, and as I mentioned in the first point, 70 plus services. Once a month we also offer the roadmap. Here you see all the services we have at this point in time available in the SAP Cloud Platform Enterprise Agreement, and the latest and greatest you will find in the service catalog, which I show you in a few seconds. We also show in this respect the roadmap, so you can also see what we offer in the next few months, and this is also available via the SAP newsletter, so please subscribe to the SAP Cloud Platform newsletter. In the next few minutes I would like to show you the process, how the customer is using services in respect of the Cloud Platform Enterprise Agreement. So we will go through the explore phase, where we check the offering, the services we have in SAP Cloud Platform. We will also see what kind of use cases are available, how to estimate costs, and the second one is then the administrator, where we then see how to set up a sub-account and also how to entitle and enable services. Then in the development area, where you can then also use the services, and last but not least, that you can also review the usage as a controller, where you can then see how much was used, what is my current cloud credit usage, and last but not least, how does the balance statement at the end of each month looks like. So I will now switch to the demo part of this session. Now I would like to start with the demo. So for that I go into the SAP Cloud Platform. So you can use the short linkage I showed, or you can go via product, business technology platform, application development and integration, and you will find here the latest information about the SAP Cloud Platform, and you will also find information about the pricing, So trial, consumption-based pricing, and the subscription, as I mentioned before. Please be aware that, as I mentioned before, the pure pay-as-you-go is in the pilot phase and therefore here not available. What I would like to show that you find here also the use cases, where you can then also find, for example, information of electronic invoicing, where you see how the service is used in respect of other solutions, and you can then jump directly into the Discovery Center. In the Discovery Center you get also then information what kind of services are used, the bill of material, and you can jump there directly. Or you go to the Discovery Center with this URL and you find here also the emissions. You can search here also for this Italy use case. But what I would like to show is the services, so you will find also all available services we have. In this section you'll see the new and featured services. I showed you the roadmap. Here you'll find the services we delivered in the last few weeks. You can also filter for the commercial model. So I would like to show you which services are available under CPEA. And it's also on the tile of the services where you can find it. I would like now to search, for example, for process integration. And here you get all the information about this service, high level, functions and features here in this part, what kind of tools this service is using, what kind of business content is available, so which SAP APIs. You can see that this service has again more business content. You get resources, so what's new, feature scope description, that is what you see here in a more detailed topic, and the initial setup, how to set up this service. You then also see the service plans. The service plan is the one you activate on the Cloud Platform cockpit. I will show you in a few seconds. So you see here the process integration via CPEA, which technical features are available on which provider, AWS, Azure, SAP, and on which data center this service is available, how much it costs, and the description of the metric. You can also change the currency, for example, to US dollar, and you can add this service to the estimator. So I prepared already the estimator, where you can then easily, like a car configurator, put services together, can give here some customizing, that you would say, I would like to build a marketing feedback tool. It's for EMEA. I changed the currency to euro. I say maybe I get a 10% discount, and I can then put here the section for the productive usage. I added some services. I can remove some services, and then I see how much it will cost per month. I can change that also to a yearly base or to a monthly base, and so on. I can share then this estimate with my colleagues or with customers or partners internally or externally. Having said that, I would like now to go to the cockpit. In the cockpit, I go now to my global account. This global account has already 32 sub-accounts. So when you buy a Cloud Platform Enterprise agreement or you signed a subscription contract, you get a global account assigned to you. When you get it, you have to first add members, so that you can also add some customers here or some administrators here as well. The next thing is that you can add a new sub-account. I have here now several, so I will add a demo account, sub-account. It should be on Amazon Web Services. It's the region Frankfurt, and I have here a rollout, so it should be for production. And now I created this sub-account. So we have to wait a second. I have to enable it, and after I enable the sub-account, you will also find then additional topics like the member section, quota and entitlements. So I can here add some additional members so that they have also access to this account. And I would like now to entitle it. So that's a big difference to the subscription part. So here you can entitle different services. And that is also the topic that not every sub-account can now use each and every service, and only the entitled services are available for the teams to develop with these services. So I would like, for example, have a HANA service included, standard. I would like to have, for example, an ABAP service, and I can save that now. So only if I did the entitlement, it's only possible that this service can then be used in the sub-account, and the service can then be enabled. I create now a space. Where I deploy my HANA database. And you see you have here some services which are already available, but this ABAP and HANA service I added it by myself. So I can now activate the ABAP instance, for example, go to new instance. This is a paid service plan, so I have to pay. And if I add now the instant name, I would then create an instance for the ABAP environment. I don't do it now, so then we could use the whole system. So time passed by. The global account admin, as I mentioned, created the sub-accounts, did the authorization, the teams, and the entitlement. The teams used the services. In my example, I activated a ABAP environment here in this sub-account. And over time, I would like to see what was the usage. And therefore, you can see in the global account, in the overview, what was the usage. You see the different services. You see the usage and the cost per service. You can do that also on sub-account level, that you say, I would like to see, for example, multi-chain and by the sub-account innovation, for example, from contract start date, and you can also see the usage by sub-account, or you can also export the data to an Excel spreadsheet, and that is also what I would like to show you here. So in this case it's a demo account, so I don't see the real usage, but normally you would see then for each and every month the usage and how much you already used from your cloud credits. You see then the global account with different information and detailed information about the metric and the service and service plan and the costs. You can then also see the costs by sub-account and your actual usage up to the space level for your global account. So having said that, you can also look at the price list. So you can here say which kind of region you bought the contract. So for example, I choose now United States. I started my contract on the 2nd of February in 2090, and I would like to see the display prices. So I would like to know what kind of price do I have to pay. For example, for the ABAP environment I choose. So you see that the price today and at the time of start contract was the same. So I pay for the same. No, I did the 16 gigabyte and persistency. So at the start of the contract it was a higher price, and through the minimum price guarantee you pay only the price which is lower, whether it is the one of today or of the start of contract. So today it's lower, so I will pay the $2.11 per 16 gigabyte blocks. So that is also very important for you, that you see how you can check your balance statement at the end of the months. Having said that, I will go back to the presentation and give you a summary of the Cloud Platform Enterprise Agreement. So what you saw now in the demo, I would like to go through the slides again to repeat what you saw. So we saw the central service catalog in Discovery Center, where I showed you how you get the functions and feature, the pricing information and related missions. I showed you the estimator, where you can do some dedicated costs planning for the services you would like to use. I showed you on SAP.com the use cases and how they can also be used in the estimator. I showed you how to set up the sub-account structure. So the sub-accounts reflect the organizational structure, or you can separate it by development, test and production landscape. You can support projects, and it's one view across all landscapes and environments within the SAP Cloud Platform. I showed you also how to entitle the different service plans, and it's also an instrument for usage control. So entitlement for each service can be provided per sub-account for selected services in one place, a maximum threshold for instant-based services, an assignment of service plan for Cloud Foundry-based services. And then I showed you how you then activate in the service marketplace the services which were beforehand enabled, and that you then can enable the service itself. And the usage, so you see then the usage the costs in the global account structure. You can see also the usage per service and sub-account, and as I mentioned, the monthly usage and costs. I showed you the usage data export, where you can then get dedicated information about the global account, the credit usage, and the cost distribution by sub-accounts. And last but not least, I showed you the CPEA price list with the minimum price guarantee. So that means that you pay the price which was valid at the contract start date or the date today. And we have then the balance statement. So for the balance statement, you have here detailed information. So what was the opening cloud credit balance? Then how much did you consume? What was your usage? And then you have the closing balance at the end of the statement. So you get really dedicated information how your usage each and every month was in conjunction with the Cloud Platform Enterprise Agreement. If something would go wrong, you would get also a report of correction on the balance statement, so that you can see that everything in your contract and your balance statement is always correctly reflected. Having said that, I would like to thank you for your participation of the information about the Cloud Platform Enterprise Agreement, and thank you for listening. Bye bye.